If you knew that consistently showing up for yourself over the next 2 years would lead to a lasting fat loss, would you keep on going? I think you would. Which tells me something really important. The biggest obstacle isn't knowing what to do. It's believing that your consistent efforts will actually create the person, the woman that you want to become. And our actions don't just follow our goals, they follow our beliefs. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Let's get into it. Hey girl, welcome back to another episode of Rock That Fitness with Anna Rockstar and you. It's me and you and Daisy May Luhu back there. I don't know if how this is going to work out, but it's not really her nap time right now. It's Thursday, but I'm recording late in the day and she's already had a nap, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to give her a chance. Maybe just being in the same space, she'll behave. We'll see. Do I have any lifey updates? Not anything to speak of. I'm dealing with some personal stuff. It's been a roller coaster of emotions for me. And last week, it's funny that I talked about emotional eating because I ended up having a day of emotional eating and some moments of emotional wanting to emotional eat, but not doing that. So just, I have found a lot of peace in sharing this with you because I want you to know that I too have challenges and I struggle the same way. I just have been at this a little bit longer than a lot of people, probably most people who are looking towards their fat loss goals. It's not that, I don't have everything mastered. I have a lot of things mastered that I've worked on over the years, but I just like to share with you that I'm just like you. I've just decided to pick up the tools and get after it day after day, week after week. And that's how we master skills. And that's really all it comes down to. Oh, she's being so good back there. She's being really good. So today, I want to talk about something that's been on my heart that I think is one of the biggest mindset shifts that we can make if we want lasting change, if we want lasting fat loss. I do talk about fat loss a lot because most of the women I'm working with want fat loss. And I wanted fat loss when I started my fat loss journey. So I know I talk a lot about it, but there are a lot of different things that are involved if you want lasting body transformation. It's not that simple, like just fat loss. The tools and the things that we do to reach our fat loss goals, yes, those are simple. But there are a lot of things involved. We can't just pretend like it's, not going to include all the things. Anyway, the secret to lasting fat loss doesn't start in the kitchen. It doesn't start at the gym. It truly does start in our mind. And it starts with what you believe is actually possible. It's the identity that you choose to live from and the decisions you make every single day. I'm leaning into this, girl. This is the thing. This is really the root of all the things. You can chase after all the plans, the diets, the nutrition, the workouts. But the bottom line is, if we don't choose the identity that we live from and do some mindset shifting, we will continue to be stuck. So now you don't hear me saying nutrition and strength training are not important because you know that they are. These are the tools required to achieve the goals. They absolutely are. But if you don't believe that you're actually capable of becoming the woman, the person who consistently follows through, eventually you're going to stop doing those things. And that's why I truly believe that lasting change, lasting transformation does begin in the mind. And one of the questions that I've asked time and time again when hold on. I got to stop something. All right. Mexican blanket destruction diverted. We're back. My apologies. Thanks for letting me be me. Thanks for letting Daisy May be in here with me. So I've asked clients a lot of times, this is what I'll ask. On a scale of 1 to 10, how sure are you? How much faith do you have? How much do you believe you can achieve your goal on a scale of 1 to 10? And if they say anything less than a 6, I'm going to question whether they're ready to go forward with achieving their goals. Not that it's right or wrong or bad or good. It just is what it is, because really need to be in a place of believing if we really want to have the transformation. Does that mean we believe in the outcome completely? No, but we do believe that we can trust ourselves to follow through on the things required to achieve said goal. We're trusting ourselves. This is what we're talking about today. It's the belief, because all of our actions, all of our behaviors, they're stemming from this belief system. It's what we believe. I mean, think about it. If you didn't believe, if you were great at baking a cake, if you didn't believe that your cake was going to come out, would you put it together? You know, we have put these recipes together many times. We know the ingredients, we know the steps, we know the order, we know the timing. And we know that if we follow these steps, we're going to achieve the baked cake. But we wouldn't do it if we didn't believe that it was going to work. I don't know about you. We're going to do something, you know, but we trust that we can follow the steps. And we know that other people have done it, and we've done it. And the more we do it, we get better at it, right? So here's one of the things to consider. And later in this podcast, I'm going to give you some great questions to ask yourself. So I hope you have a pen and paper or a journal handy, a notebook, because you're going to want to write these things down. I think it's going to be very helpful. But we've been asking some of the wrong questions for ourselves. For many years, like I personally would attach my happiness, confidence, and my success to a number on a scale. I'm sure that you can relate to this. And so we tell ourselves, I will be happy when, but if we've been asking the wrong question, then we're going to be asking the wrong question. Instead of asking that, will we lose the weight? What if we start asking, who am I becoming? How? Because this comes down to who we're becoming along the road on this journey. And when we're so tied to the destination, to the outcome, that we're not focused on the present moment, and we cannot be at peace and enjoy the process because we're so focused on that. So the question is, what we could be asking instead is, who am I becoming? What person, what woman, who am I becoming on this journey? If my actions follow my beliefs, then maybe the real work isn't finding a better diet, right? Maybe it's changing what I believe is possible for me. And so this attachment is going to keep us stuck. And I've learned that when I'm attached to an outcome, I give that outcome control over my emotions. Okay. Think about that for a moment as we take a swig. Chug the jug with me for a minute. Ideas like, if the scale goes down, then I feel successful. If it doesn't go down, right, I'm going to question everything because we're basing everything on the scale. But the truth is, I can't control every outcome. I can't control things like my hormones. I can't control outside things that can immediately cause me stresses. I can't control all of life's circumstances. I can't control exactly how quickly my body is going to change on doing said nutrition plan. What I can control is whether I continue to keep showing up. I can control that part. And detachment doesn't mean that I stop caring about the outcome. It doesn't mean that I don't care about it. It just means that I stop allowing the outcome to determine whether I'm going to keep going. And then I stop allowing the outcome to determine my emotions, my emotional state, and my continued actions, like I just said. So what we're really doing is we're choosing alignment instead of attachment. So one of the biggest mindset shifts that I've made is asking myself one simple question. Are my choices aligned with where I want to go or who I want to become? Because, it really does, it comes down to that, right? If we reflect back on the idea of like be, do, and have. I wasn't going to talk about that, but it's a good reminder. Who we're being is going to cause what we do, and then what we do is going to give us the result. And so this really does tie into this. Are my choices aligned with the woman that I'm becoming? Who are you becoming? Becoming a fit chick. What choices does the fit chick make? Are the choices I'm making today in alignment with becoming the fit chick me? That question changes everything. It takes the focus off of the scale and it puts it back where it belongs, on the choices that I'm making today. Every healthy meal, every workout, every walk, everything, every going to bed on time, wasting time on the internet rather than getting some activity in, or managing my stress in other healthy ways. But every decision is another opportunity to stay aligned with who we are becoming. So let's backtrack for a minute here. The question becomes, do I believe that I can achieve the goal? Is that the question that we want to ask? Or do we just want to ask, do I believe that I'm capable of showing up and continuing to show up, to put in the reps of what it's going to take, what is required for the goal? Because it's science. And if you knew that you had the formula for you to achieve your goal, you would show up, right? It's kind of like you go to work and you believe that if you show up this many hours a week, you do your work, you're going to have your paycheck. Same type of a thing. You're going to get the payoff when you consistently continue to show up. Of course, we're all kind of hardwired for this instant gratification, and this is a problem because instant gratification is what's causing us to not stay in it, to win it, to not have the long game. Of course, you have to have the proper strategy. You need to be doing the method, the correct, scientifically evidence-based approach to your fat loss. When you have the right plan, not a diet or a trendy thing, not trying to find that instant gratification, when you actually have the strategy, you truly can believe that you have the tools and you can trust yourself to follow through with the tools. And in time, you are achieving the results. Maybe it's not the outcome that you initially started out with your goal, but you are along the way becoming healthier, stronger, fitter, not just physically, but in the mind, because you are taking action and you're repeating the actions. All this to say, and it's all that the woman you become matters more than the outcome. That's why we always say it's all about the journey, not the destination. So enjoy the journey. Lasting transformation doesn't happen because of just one perfect week. It doesn't happen because of one perfect meal. Cheers. Need some water. I hope that noise isn't bothering you in the background. Her doing her chewy bone. She's being so good. So lasting transformation doesn't happen because of one perfect week, right? It happens because of hundreds of ordinary decisions that are repeated over time. And just knowing how simple that is, we just keep showing up and doing that. And every time we choose to show up, especially when we don't feel like it, we're becoming someone different. Because nothing changes if nothing changes. We have to do something different. When we do this, we're building trust with ourselves. We're reinforcing the new identity that my body changes because I've changed first, right? I used to drive down this way. Now I drive this way. So my destination is going to be different, but nothing's going to change if you keep taking the same route. When we stop chasing the outcomes and start becoming the person who naturally lives the habits, then the outcomes become the byproduct. It's like the thing that I like to always say is, we got to stop chasing that outcome. We got to, if we stop chasing fat loss and we just start showing up and becoming the person who shows up to eat healthy foods, healthy, wholesome foods regularly, then this is going to be a byproduct. We show up and do our strength training programs and we show up consistently doing these things, then the byproduct is going to be there. And I say consistently, not perfectly every time. We got to show up imperfectly. We will not be consistent if we're not showing up imperfectly, because we are imperfect. And if we keep on showing up and we're not perfect, and then we're going to stop, right? So show up imperfectly. 5 questions. Here's your chance to write down some things and spend some quality time with yourself, and really answer these questions for yourself. Because when we ask better questions, we're going to get better answers. Number 1, am I making today's choices from the woman, the person that I've always been, the past, or am I making choices from the woman that I'm becoming? And don't let yesterday's identity make the decisions for today. This is huge, because too many of us have been stuck in this place where we're focused so much on the past self and how we have been reacting. We'll say, well, I don't want to procrastinate anymore, or I don't want to emotionally eat anymore, or I don't want to whatever, fill in the blank. What's happening here? It's our focus. And where your focus goes, your energy flows. So you're giving all this energy to the things you don't want, when you deserve to take back all that energy and let's say what we want. Let's focus on that. Let's put all of our energy on this. Am I making the choices from who I've always been, the identity of who I've been, those ideas and those thoughts and those feelings and those emotions your body has memorized? We want to start changing that by changing the actions. This is why action creates clarity. Because if we're sitting around just going, I need no motivation, or I got to get my mindset right, or, waiting for that, then we're never going to get anywhere. We won't want to just wait. We have to take some action. And that action becomes clarity, because you're either going to get what you were after, or you're going to learn what doesn't work. And now you've got something. You have either the result that you wanted, or you have some great information, some data, a lesson you learned, maybe some way you don't want to do it anymore. That's valuable information. So making choices from the woman that we are becoming, that fit chick, we're making choices. That's you. It's who you are. That's who you are. It's who you're meant to be, that healthy fit chick. She makes those choices that are difficult, and in time they become easier because she's repeated that, and she's mastering the skill of showing up repeatedly in whatever skill that is. Question number 2, write this down. Am I attached to the outcome? Am I attached to it, or am I committed to the process? And this is key, because if we can just be committed to the daily processes, the outcome is going to come. But we don't always know what the outcome is, but it's going to result in an outcome that we are pleased with, because we are taking steps in our health and our fitness, and only healthy, fit things can come from that, right? So am I attached to the outcome, or am I committed to today's processes? The outcome's going to come. My responsibility is to stay committed to the choices, to stay in integrity with the things that I told myself I was going to do. This is how you build trust with yourself. Question number 3, are my choices today aligned with the woman that I want to become? Not perfectly, just aligned. That is enough. That's number 3. Are my choices today aligned with the woman that I'm becoming? Question number 4, I love this question. If the bathroom scale disappeared today for the next 30 days, would I still choose these habits? Something to think about. If the answer is yes, then I'm building a lifestyle instead of chasing a number on the scale. That number on the scale can be so controlling, if we allow it to. And sometimes I will have clients say, look, you're so tied to the scale. I'm going to challenge you to put it away. And if you put that scale away and you trust in the process day after day for the next 30 days, and you actually take the actions and you're accurate in your plan, then you don't need a scale to tell you that you're making progress. It's a beautiful, empowering thing. So that's question number 4. If the scale disappeared today for the next 30 days, would you still choose the habits? That's a big one. Number 5, what promise, I don't even like to use the word promise, but what promise can I keep to myself today? I prefer the word commitment. I don't know what it is, but somewhere in my past, the word promise, I don't know what I'm going to have to revisit that. I have a thing with the word promise. But anyway, the question, what commitment can I keep to myself today? And when I say commit, I'm talking like what's one thing you can commit to today, not 5 things you're going to commit to, because really it's all about like one thing at a time and stacking those habits. So what's the commitment that I can keep to myself today? Not what can I keep to myself next week, for the next month, for the next year, because that has a tendency to overwhelm our mind. But just for today, what can I commit to just for today? See how much pressure is just lifted when we're focusing right here in the present moment and today. That's all that matters. It's all we have is right now. This is the only thing that we need to focus on today. So what commitment can I keep to myself today? And every commitment is just going to strengthen. Every time you follow through with that commitment to yourself, it's just going to strengthen that trust in yourself. So let's talk about real transformation, because I've realized that the greatest transformation is not losing the weight, at least not for me. It's nice. It's wonderful that I have had the success. You can have the same success. You probably are working on it and being successful. I applaud you for that. But one of the biggest things that's happened for me in my own personal transformation has been my own personal growth and becoming a woman who can trust herself. I cannot even begin to express the freedom, the power, the joy, the peace that comes from this place of being able to just trust yourself to follow through. I know I'm going to keep on showing up. That's how much I can I have learned repeatedly through my actions to trust myself, so I'm able to keep showing up. I know that I am a woman whose choices are no longer controlled by fear. I don't choose the things that I do every day because I'm afraid I'm going to gain back the weight. I don't choose this because I'm afraid I'm going to get old and frail and I'm going to have diseases. I don't let fear or frustration or a number on the scale dictate the choices that I'm making. Because I'm the person who is committed to who I am today and who I am becoming. So when we focus on becoming that person, that fit chick, then the results eventually are going to follow. And then the outcome is no longer what's driving me. It's alignment. And that's why we always need to be asking the question, are my actions in alignment with my goals? It's so interesting that I can hear a person tell me that they really, really want XYZ. And I really want to lose this 50 pounds. If I could just lose this 50 pounds, I'll be happy. But then they're not taking any action, or they're just in this one place because what they believe has kept them stuck. And they may be believing, and maybe this is you, that you're thinking about all the things that are required to achieve that 50-pound weight loss. But that's not helping you by believing you have to do all these things. Let's take a step back. What do you need to believe? You need to believe that establishing that first habit is all it's going to require, that you show up for one habit and start stacking. That's the belief. So let's take a step back and keep asking ourselves, when something feels like it's an obstacle, it's in your way for the outcome that you're going after, ask yourself, what am I believing about this? Is that true? Most of the time, if it's something keeping you stuck, it's not the truth, especially if you look around and you see somebody else who is doing it and they have the same quote unquote excuse or reason that they're not, that you're not achieving it. If somebody else has done it, you can do it too. So being in alignment, asking yourself, do I believe it? And here's another really big take this home, take this to the bank, take this to your bathroom scale. If I believed it, I would do it. It would be a driving factor. I would have the fuel to keep showing up. You see, if you're not showing up regularly, consistently, then you've got to take a look at this and ask yourself, do I actually believe that I can achieve it? Because if you don't, then that's where we have to start. And you can dream big, and you can have this thing, and it's okay to want it. The fat loss, the 50 pounds of weight loss, the building muscle, the transforming your body, shaping your body at any age. You can have that. But ask yourself, do I believe it? But another thing to remember is that you don't need to believe it to take action. You can start taking action without believing, and then let those actions start to create the result and give you evidence that it's working. But stay in the game. If you want to win, you got to play to win. And the only way to win is to play the game to win. Make sure you have the right strategy, right? This was a lot. I know it sounded probably like I was a little bit all over the place today. Maybe I was. I'm pretty tired today, but I'm showing up for you. And I wanted to give you some food for thought and encourage you today, because you absolutely can achieve whatever you set your mind to. You have to believe it and then just go after it. Trust yourself. How do you trust yourself? Keep building the skills. Remember this, it's just skills. You didn't go out and just start riding a bike one day. You got on your bike, you fell down a few times, you kept getting back up, eventually started getting some balance, and now you're riding. Like, you don't just do it overnight. It takes practice. It takes getting up every time you fall, getting up again, and not letting those falls, those setbacks get you down. And everything that you have done up until this point is building the skills. It's not for nothing. Okay? It's all part of the journey. You're not starting over. You're just continuing on your journey with where you're at. But remember that where you are today and all of your thoughts and beliefs that have gotten you here today, that all is not the same thinking and beliefs of the woman that you're becoming, which means that what got you here will not get you there. So I want to encourage you to keep working on the inner work, the inner strength, the inner part of you. That is the real work. And it's hard. It takes courage. It really does. But be brave. Be your own hero. That's why I'm going to go to a call to action today. I'm going to ask you to take action today. This is going to be something why we don't take action a lot of times is because we're unsure. We're uncertain. But I'll tell you this. I bet you there's a lot of things in your life that you've been uncertain about and you took action. Scary, excited action anyway. And that's where you got to be. Because when you do something new and different, it's going to feel uncomfortable and scary, but you do it anyway. If you want that personal growth, if you really want something, you're going to do the thing. It's different. You're going to change. Here's the call to action today. I'm in the middle of, I've talked about this now for a couple weeks. I'm putting all the things together in the background. The 21-day Rockstar Rewired Reset. 21-day Rockstar Rewired Reset. Let's say that fast 5 times. This is not another nutrition plan. It's not a workout plan. This is something new. Never before have I created this or offered it. I'm in the middle of creating this right now. Brand new. This is an opportunity for you to jump in because it's brand new. This first round is like my beta, brand new. And that means there's going to be limited spots. Right now I'm working on it. I'm not sure. But don't wait to find out how many limited spots there's going to be. Like, get on the priority list. The link is going to be in the show notes, just so you will stay in the loop, because only people who are on my priority list are going to be getting the information and staying in the loop. And you will be first notified when I open the doors to this 21-day Rockstar Rewired Reset. And I'm calling it a reset because you're not starting over. Just kind of resetting where you are so we can move forward. And all of the programming that's gotten you here or keeping you stuck, we want to rewire that programming having to do with your beliefs, having to do with your beliefs that are limiting you, which we call self-limiting beliefs. Some things having to do with your identity and how you show up in the world as who you are being, and who you want to become. A lot of things that we're going to be talking about in this 21-day Rockstar Rewired Reset. It's going to be a simple thing we do every day for 21 days. You're not going to want to miss this. I'm going to be talking about things like regulating our nervous system, being in alignment of our goals. I'm going to be talking about having self-integrity with our daily routines. And I'm going to be talking about this, when I say nervous system and regulating your nervous system, things like stress management, emotional eating, the fight or flight or freeze, like living in survival mode. I'm going to be talking about self-compassion and responding instead of reacting. All these things. There's going to be an opportunity for you to do things differently, to give yourself an opportunity each morning to set your intentions for the day and start rewiring the thought patterns to become the woman that you want to become, the woman who does the things, who gets the results, and she trusts herself to follow through. That's what this is all about. So I'm super excited about it, and I'm getting out of my comfort zone to teach this, and I'm excited about it. I hope you get on the priority list. Just look at the show notes. If you're ready to stop chasing outcomes and start becoming the woman that you've always wanted to be, then join this priority list, you fit chick, okay? And I just would really love for you to be part of this very first time experience that we're having. And if you're a praying person, pray for me. Pray that I can just send out the energy, ask God, send me the good vibes, that I can get this going quicker and sooner than later. That's all I got for you today, girl. I think that's all I got. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Remember, self-care, self-love all day, every day, in every way. Do I have your word? She's been so good. Yay, Daisy May. Do you have your word, girl? Good. Rock on.